You know that feeling? When you first move somewhere new, there's this vulnerability almost.
You're just not settled yet. Don't know the sounds, the little quirks of the place.
Exactly. And sometimes that initial strangeness, that unease, it can actually twist into something. Well, something genuinely scary.
It really can. Your home should feel safe.
Right.
When that feeling gets broken, especially right after moving in, it's deeply unsettling.
Yeah. So today we're going to tell you 3 stories. These are accounts people shared, supposedly true experiences about moving into a new place and finding, well, more than they bargained for.
These go beyond just, creaky floorboards or needing to fix a leaky tap.
Oh yeah, way beyond. These are situations that become genuinely disturbing, even dangerous. So let's get into the first one.
Okay, this first account is about someone, their brother moved out, and they suddenly needed a cheaper place to live, fast.
Right, so they found a room to rent. It was in a house owned by this guy named Evan.
And at first glance, Evan seemed okay. A bit quiet, maybe, shy. Not great at small talk, but nothing screamed danger initially.
No, not right away. But then they actually moved into the bedroom he was renting out, and they noticed something pretty odd.
Odd is putting it mildly. The lock on their bedroom door. It was on the outside.
Yeah. Imagine seeing that. You move in, ready to settle, and there's a lock on the outside of your door. Like, you could be locked in.
It's immediately alarming. What possible reason could there be?
Well, when they asked Evan about it, he was sort of casual, said he hadn't noticed, he'd switch it around, which, okay, maybe, but still felt off.
Just a little bit strange, yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that wasn't the end of it. Not by a long shot.
No. Fast forward to the middle of the night. They wake up. Sounds from the kitchen.
You'd probably think, oh, it's just Evan getting a drink or something.
Yeah, that's what they tried to tell themselves, but
Yeah.
footsteps. Coming down the hall. Getting closer.
And stopping.
Stopping right outside their bedroom door. And then a click.
The lock from the outside.
Yes. They heard the lock turn. Locked into their own room by this guy they barely knew. Can you imagine the fear?
Pure panic.
No.
Utterly terrifying.
Yep.
What did they do?
They started yelling, obviously. Called out to Evan, demanded he unlock the door. He did, eventually.
And his excuse.
So flimsy. He said he wanted to feel safe because he didn't know them well. Locking someone in their room, that's not a normal response.
Not even close. That's a massive red flag. Huge.
Absolutely. So, understandably, they told Evan first thing, I'm leaving tomorrow. Spent the rest of the night totally freaked out, sleeping on the sofa. Didn't dare go back in the room.
I wouldn't have either. But the morning brought something else, didn't it?
It did. Evan's bedroom door, which was closed before, was now open, and the room completely empty, like stripped bare.
So that adds a whole other layer of weirdness. Where did he go? Why empty the room?
Exactly. It just cemented this feeling that something was seriously wrong. So they started packing their stuff, like double time. And then Evan just reappeared in the doorway, just standing there, watching them pack. Blank expression, silent.
Oh, that's chilling. That silent watching is almost worse sometimes.
Yeah, it just adds to the tension. Okay, so they finally get everything loaded into a U-Haul. They're closing up the back.
Yeah, Evan comes over.
Yeah, he comes over holding this box they'd apparently forgotten. Seems helpful, right? But as they reach for it, he shoves them, tries to push them into the U-Haul, tries to trap them inside.
What? Seriously?
Seriously? They scrambled away, shocked, and then Evan just bolts. Runs off into the trees behind the house and vanishes.
Just ran off. Into the woods.
Gone, leaving them there thinking, what on earth just happened? What was he planning? It was so deeply wrong, they just got out of there and went straight to their brother's place.
I don't blame them one bit. That is, wow, just deeply disturbing.
Yeah.
You really wonder what his plan was.
You really do. Okay, let's shift gears. Our second story starts a bit differently. This is about the excitement of buying your very first house.
Yes. A huge milestone. But for this person, that excitement turned sour pretty quickly.
Yeah, they were moving in alone, and it was winter, which is tough enough. But soon after they moved in, strange things started happening. Late at night.
The first thing was sounds, right? Footsteps.
Footsteps on the porch. Late at night, crunching, like someone was walking up to the house. But then, they just stopped. Right before the door. Silence.
That sudden stop is creepy, like they were listening. Or changed their mind.
And then the next morning, the front door was unlocked.
Even though they were sure they'd locked it.
Positive. Absolutely certain they had locked it tight the night before, but there it was, unlocked.
And the really strange part, no footprints in the snow leading up to the door.
None. So the sound of footsteps, the unlocked door, but no physical evidence anyone was actually there. It's baffling. And this kept happening, night after night, finding the door unlocked.
That would drive you crazy. You'd start doubting yourself, wondering if you're forgetting to lock it, even though you know you are.
Totally. But then came the moment they couldn't rationalize away. They actually saw someone.
Okay, tell us.
They were taking a shower, heard a noise downstairs.
No, while in the shower. The most vulnerable time.
Exactly. So, heart pounding, they quickly got out, wrapped in a towel, went cautiously to see what it was, and there he was.
Ooh.
A man. Standing in the hallway. Just standing there. And the front door behind him, wide open.
Oh my God. Face to face with an intruder in your own home.
Terrifying. Their instinct kicked and run. They fled back upstairs, locked themselves in a room, called the police immediately.
Did the police catch him?
No. By the time the police arrived, he was gone. Vanished. And again, no sign of forced entry, nothing broken, nothing obviously stolen right then.
So the police could only offer advice, basically.
Pretty much get security cameras, change the locks, standard procedure, and definitely good advice.
Which they did, I assume. But still, even with cameras and new locks.
That fear would linger, wouldn't it? Knowing someone was in your house, knowing they could just walk in apparently, and you still don't know why, or if they'll come back, that violation feeling.
Yeah, the not knowing is often the worst part. Okay, so our third story, another move, another new house. This time because the previous landlord was selling up.
Right. And the problem here started almost immediately, but it wasn't the house itself. It was a neighbor.
Ah, the neighbor factor. That can be its own kind of nightmare.
Definitely. This neighbor lived across the street, and he just stared constantly.
Say now.
Never spoke, never smiled, didn't seem to leave his house much except to stand in his driveway, sometimes at really odd hours, and just watch their house, watch them.
That's incredibly unnerving. That feeling of being watched all the time, judged silently, it makes you feel exposed in your own home.
Totally. It's this weird invasion of privacy without them even setting foot on your property initially, but then it escalated.
How so?
One night, late, they heard this scraping sound outside, looked out the window, and saw the neighbor dragging a huge ladder across his lawn.
A ladder late at night. Okay.
Yeah.
Immediately suspicious. What would you need a ladder for at that hour?
Exactly. Your mind just jumps to creepy possibilities. It seriously ramped up their anxiety. This wasn't just weird staring anymore.
No, that feels like intent. Like preparation for something.
And the next morning, there he was again, standing right at the end of their driveway this time, staring straight into their window. Closer now. More blatant.
Like he was testing boundaries, getting bolder.
It felt like that.
Yeah.
And then came the footsteps. At night. In their backyard. Which was fenced in.
Inside the fence. So someone had to climb over.
Had to. They even saw a shadowy figure sometimes watching from the edge of the property line. Just watching.
That's terrifying. Did they call the police again?
They did. But same problem, really. No actual crime committed yet, just deeply unsettling behavior. The guy had no prior record the police knew of, so their hands were kind of tied.
Leaving the homeowner feeling completely helpless and scared.
Absolutely. They were seriously thinking about breaking their lease, just getting out of there. Consequences be damned. It was becoming unbearable.
I can only imagine. And then the climax.
Yeah. Then came the absolute peak of terror. Middle of the night, they're woken up by this loud thud right against the wall of their house. Upstairs, their bedroom wall.
Oh no. Don't tell me.
They pulled back the curtains, heart absolutely hammering. And there he was, the neighbor's face, inches from their second-story bedroom window. Standing on that ladder.
No, staring right in.
Staring right in, inches away. On a ladder, pressed against their bedroom window in the dead of night.
That is pure nightmare fuel. What happened? Did they scream?
They screamed, yeah. The neighbor scrambled down the ladder and fled. But this time, because he was literally on their property trying to look into their window, the police could actually do something.
They caught him.
They did. He was apprehended. And thankfully, it turned out another neighbor had also had creepy experiences with this same guy. Never this extreme, but enough to confirm he was a serious problem.
Wow. Validation, at least. But terrifying that it had to get to that point. Makes you wonder if reporting earlier could have somehow stopped it before the ladder incident.
You always wonder that, don't you? But at least the story ends with a sense that it's finally truly over for them. The threat was removed.
Thank goodness for that. What an ordeal.
Yeah. So 3 stories, all very different specifics, but that same core feeling, right? That unease, that potential danger, showing up right where you're supposed to feel the safest,
your own home. Exactly. They really show how that basic sense of security we rely on can just be shattered, sometimes in really unexpected ways, in places that look totally normal on the surface.
It definitely makes you think, makes you maybe trust your gut a little more when something feels off.
Trust those instincts.
Well, that's all the unsettling stories we have for you today. We hope they gave you something to think about, maybe keep you looking over your shoulder tonight.
Or maybe just double check those locks.
Good advice. If you found these accounts chilling, please do like this video, share it with someone who enjoys spooky stories, and subscribe to the Horror Docs channel. We'll be back with more.
Until next time.